Hello and welcome to our first in a series of 4 teacher wellbeing modules. The purpose of this short module is to increase your understanding of the importance of staff wellbeing, its links with pupil wellbeing, and to look at some of the research and evidence behind these areas. First, a quote from Audre Lorde. "I have come to believe that caring for myself is not self-indulgent. Caring for myself is an act of survival. And never has this been more true than when we think about being a teacher in a classroom."
Hello, and welcome to the first in our series of 4 modules on teacher wellbeing. This module is going to look at how we interpret the world round about us, what we see, what other people are doing, what we're given to do, in a way that creates positive thoughts and positive emotions. We're going to consider what we're in control of, what we're not in control of, and how to make the most of what we have in order to stay positive and motivated. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Here we have a short video from a principal teacher from Blacklands Primary School talking about the importance of staff wellbeing. Enjoy.
As primary school, we value very much the well-being of our staff as well as our children, and recognise that we have a lot of children with adverse childhood experiences, but a lot of our staff have also had that in their lives too. And it's very important for us to support each other in caring for our children and giving them the best outcomes that we can. And with that comes the need for appreciating and valuing each other and to support each other to be our best selves. And that means that we need to look at our self-care and that we need to look after each other, and we're very good at that. And the Cosy Corner is not just for the children, it's also for the adults, and we often find ourselves along in the Cosy Corner for a cup of tea and for a cuddle and for a wee bit of reassurance about how we're getting on and where we're going. The senior management team also gave us an in-service day which was all about self-care. We went out to Eglinton Park and had a day outdoors where we went on a values walk, and every kind of kilometre that we walked we'd have a few questions that were quite searching in terms of who are we, why are we doing what we do, what's important to us about our jobs, which was really good. And also we would then swap over with who we walked with. How did you find that, Stacey?
Yeah, it was really very interesting, very good. I think we learned a lot about each other, as well as learning more about ourselves as well. Yeah, I think a lot of the thing with staff you'll find is a lot of other professions who deal with distressed children the way we do. They have supervision and they have training to deal with how to deal with the support. So we've tried to build in a little bit of that. Whereas we do have the training, and we'll have role play scenarios with the staff. How could we role play this? And everything we're teaching the children, we also teach the staff about how to use the CAM box. And we do have an open door policy so that staff can come in at the end of the day and feel free to say to us, "Oh, this really isn't working, what can I try?" And it's not judging them, just like we wouldn't judge the parents. It's just trying to help them to find a better way for them and the child to develop that relationship and put these supports and for these strategies to work for staff and for children. We have staff breakfasts where we joke about it because they've got to bring their own mug and bring something, their own breakfast, but they come in here and we have it early in the morning. It's just that real nice bonding, that time to chat and say, "How are you?" And it's quite nice, the staff enjoy having that as well.
Let's have a think about the relationship between staff and student wellbeing. It will come as no surprise to anyone working in school that a motivated and passionate teacher has a positive effect on students' enthusiasm for learning. But why? One theory that may account for this is the self-determination theory. De Meyer suggested that a teacher's feelings of autonomy, competence, and relatedness had a direct impact on student outcomes. He found that when a teacher felt autonomous, free to choose what they did and how they did it, confident in how able they were to do it, and well related and connected to staff and students in school, their students had the best outcomes. More research by Chang found, as we would expect, a link between students' behaviour and how burnt out or unable to work effectively a teacher felt. The important part of Chang's research focused on perceptions and found that the perception a teacher holds about things such as their workload, the leadership within the school, the way their pupils were behaving, was a direct link to how emotionally well and able a class teacher felt. So if we think further about teachers' positive emotions and their perceptions of their classrooms and their students, one important factor in this is the relationship they hold with their pupils. It has been shown many times that the stronger a teacher-student relationships are, the more motivated and more positive emotions a class teacher shows. This links to lots of different research such as the attachment theory and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We also know from research that the strong teacher-student relationships is directly related to how well students engage, how well they learn, and how well they are motivated. So these relationships create environments where there's emotional support available, they are predictable and consistent, they are safe and reliable. Another key area in teachers' perceptions of well-being is that of locus of control. Locus of control refers to the degree to which people believe they have control over the outcome of events in their lives, as opposed to believing that external forces control what happens. Locus of control is important when we are looking at perceptions of well-being, as our belief in what we are able to control and not able to control has a direct relationship with the levels of stress that we feel. Let's think further about that. What elements of our life in school are under our control, and what areas do we have to accept we have less control over? For example, our own perceptions, how we view our workload, how we view the behaviour of our pupils, how we view the behaviour of other staff members and the leadership of our school. That is something under our control. Others' behaviours, workload given to us, leadership, decisions, they are things less under our control. And by recognising that and allowing these things to happen without feeling a level of personal responsibility can reduce our stress and negative emotions in these areas. Our feelings of self-efficacy, that again is something under our control, as is our work-life balance to a certain degree. We can look at working from home more, we can look at doing different jobs in different places, and generally exercising control over how, where and what we work on. A good place to start when thinking about locus of control is identifying areas that cause us stress or lots of negative emotion and thinking about the elements of that thing that we can control and those that we cannot control. Then, once we have a clearly identified area that we are in control of, can we make small, measurable changes in that area to make it fit better with how we work and how we wish to work? The areas that we have no control over, simply by recognising this, our stress levels decrease and we can feel better about it. Some things that we can wonder about as we leave this module of well-being. What is our optimum level of workload? We know that too little work leaves us lethargic and fed up and lacking in motivation. We also know that the right amount of work allows us to attack it with gusto. So we need to be conscious of this when we're thinking about our own well-being and the progress of our pupils. They too need to feel just the right level of work, pressure, challenge and motivation. As we've briefly explored, we know that perception plays a vital role in supporting our well-being. How can we work on our own ways of interpreting our classroom and our work and those around us, and also support our children in school to do the same? By doing this, hopefully we can improve our learning and attainment in our classrooms. Because as a teacher, if I do not feel good or have the inner resources to teach, how can I expect my children to learn well? I hope you have enjoyed this first in our series of 4 modules on teacher well-being. Thank you for taking part. Goodbye.